Well, hello, my beautiful Aquarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your career and money reading for the end of June, right through the end of July 2025. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you're someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aquarians, this is your career and money reading. I'm going to get all of your cards first before I connect to an outcome, but I don't know if you noticed about the Gaia chimes, something is coming to a natural conclusion. So this could be a project, an idea that you're about to start or that you have already launched. It will come towards a natural conclusion that is going to be very calming. It feels like you've completed something and you're going to be really proud of yourself. That's the energy that I got from the Gaia chimes initially, but let's see what's going on with you personally at this moment in time. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What do they need to know right now regarding their career or their industry? Can you please show them the way regarding finances as well? What are they going through at this moment in time and what is to come? Can you please show the way, illuminate my beautiful Aquarians and what they need to be aware of at this time? So the first card we have there is transformation. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but a card popped out and it kind of bent a little bit, but it didn't really pop out. And I put it back in the deck as I was shuffling just now. Well, it was this card because it is slightly curved there. So it did get, this energy of trying to pop out. But then, of course, it didn't quite pop out, but then it fully popped out. So a lot of you, because this is a change card, it is the death card, transformation. Some of you may feel like you tried to transform something or get something off the ground, but perhaps it didn't quite go to plan at first. Well, this time round, you're going to succeed. So there could be some changes that were in the works that didn't really materialize, but suddenly the changes are happening now. So I feel this is a positive energy. It springboards you forward or helps you advance in some way. It is the protagonist energy. That's your energy. So that means that you're coming to the next coming weeks regarding your career and your finances with the notion to change something, get serious on something and create space for something better. So we also have the Hierophant there. So some of you, this could be new knowledge that you've acquired already because it is in the resistance position, or perhaps you've discovered a course that you'd like to, book yourself on that will change everything, open yourself up to new pay grades, for example. But I feel a lot of you could also be learning about finances, financial structures, strategies, old money, perhaps generational structures that will help you because, the Hierophant is knowledge passed down, or it is structures passed down in order to inform for the future. And of course, we have the Justice card there as well. So this can indicate cause and effect. This is an outcome energy. So a lot of you, this could be you implementing changes that will have a really beneficial kind of like influence on your finances, but also on your career or industry. I mean, looking at the energy, a lot of you are very much in administrative tasks over the next coming weeks and months. Even if what you do is creative, I feel like you could be documenting something, you know, putting up spreadsheets or getting, you know, invoices together or correlating like receipts and things, getting everything sort of organized and filed away, because, you know, when you get the Justice energy, it tends to mean that your business head is on and you're dealing with paperwork or, you know, contracts, things like that. So some of you could also be connecting to service providers at this time, looking at renewals of contracts, perhaps. Some of you may even change service providers with that Death card energy. There may be, you know, a service provider that you've been connected to for quite some time. You kind of liked what they were doing, but perhaps they're not offering the best, you know, opportunity financially to connect to their services, or you feel that they're not pulling their weight. Perhaps their service is glitching in some way. So some of you may change out, go to a little bit more of an independent provider there when it comes to certain service providers or tools. I mean, these could be subscriptions to tools, or I'm just being given editing right now. So some of you, if you use editing suites, for example, it could be that you are looking at, you know, new editing programs or softwares. I don't know anything about that, but it could also be that because I'm being given this energy of editing, it could be that you're like decluttering your working environment right now, you know, looking at what you use, what you don't use, what you can financially save on right now. Editing is to cut something out or to reframe something in a different way in order to really lock into something that's important, prioritize at this time. We have that Seven of Swords. A lot of you are trying to gain more independence in the working environment, be financially independent. A lot of you could be working towards being your own boss, or if you're basically your own boss already, whether you're creative or whether you work in a certain industry. It doesn't matter what industry you work in. This reading is for everybody. But I do see here with that Seven of Swords that you're trying to do something that's a little bit bold and different and daring. And it could be that you're changing a style or launching something. It could be even a soft launch of something at this time in order to gauge kind of customer kind of engagement or client-based kind of responses to something new. Because I feel like you want to keep things fresh. Whatever it is that you're doing, you could be revamping at this time. And some of you will actually return to ideas or return to knowledge that you gained in the past that can inform your present moment regarding your industry. Okay, I mean, it could be like if you work for a company, it could be someone who's in a very hierarchical position asks you a question about something, and you know, you remember a very important piece of information that basically they should know, but either they've forgotten or they're testing you. I'm getting an energy here of test for some of you. And it could be that you know that information and you come up and you give that information and they're really impressed. Because I feel a lot of you, especially if you work in a structure or a company, you are basically impressing someone over the next coming weeks with your knowledge, okay? And they see that you need to be elevated in some way. So Seven of Wands, they can see that you're above the competition, and they may actually tell you that something about your current role is changing, and you may at first feel like, oh, okay, you're noticing change and you may be worried about that, but actually I feel it's because something better is in the works, and I feel that you're above the competition and they want to offer this to you. So if you work for a company, I do see that there is some sort of opportunity that everybody would love to have. There's competition for it, but the Seven of Wands there tells me that you are the person who has victory. You're the person who basically is above everybody else, and it could come because you know, have some knowledge from a past situation, or perhaps there's some historical knowledge you know about your industry. I mean, it could be that if there's a problem in the working environment and your boss asks you about something and you go, remember that time that happened? Well, we filed these things over here, and they are like, oh my gosh, that's the information I need. And you like save the day. Okay, so it could be that because of this one moment, there's something here that is being offered, you know, and we've got that Five of Cups there. So this can indicate you have to let go of something that perhaps you kind of enjoy doing right now, but there's something better being offered to you at this time. You may not be able to see it, but it's definitely something that's in the works. So if your boss or the people around you in hierarchical positions are being a little bit testing over the next coming weeks, I mean, if they're normally a little bit rude or abrupt, you know, I feel a lot of you could actually take something to HR or a governing body there. You may need to document everything, okay, because we have that justice energy. This can be a legal case for some of you, but, you know, if you don't want things to get legal, it could be that you're actually looking at documenting someone's behavior or someone kind of like, the main energy I'm getting is someone who's acting out of character. So if you are dealing with someone who's not normally highly pressurized or testing you, note that they are actually testing you because there's a new role coming up or some sort of new position. But also I'm being given this energy, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this. I have to be honest with the cards that I got and with the energy that's coming up. You may be witnessing some sort of downsizing going on in companies at this moment in time, closures, redundancies, things like that. And the Five of Cups is there. So it could be that you're witnessing these things and you're worried about redundancies. But I feel there's someone in a position of authority here who really likes you and wants to keep you. They see you as an asset to the team. So if there are redundancies going on in your company, I feel a lot of you could be offered some sort of alternative role, or there's some sort of merge going on, and I feel the role could be changing in some way, okay, because you do have the Death card there, but I feel actually it sees you conquering something or stepping into a new status in some way. I feel it could be like a highly pressurized environment that you're working in. That's what I'm seeing right now. But I do see change happening, and I feel with this Five of Cups for you, and I will, you know, pull a card when I get to that. But actually, I do that right now. I just see this energy of something that you've been manifesting that you would love coming on in, but it requires you letting go of some aspects of what you do already. So it could be a title change for some of you. It feels like more of a standalone position. So it could be managerial, okay? But if you're feeling really integrated in your working environment at this moment in time, it could be that, you know, there is some sort of responsibility bestowed upon you, and then people look at you differently. Remember, sometimes it's lonely at the top. So there could be some relationships changing or evolving in the working environment because, you know, it is a very competitive arena, and it feels like you're offered something that other people would like, but you get it. And it doesn't put people's nose out of joint, but it feels like people then treat you differently. Okay, so there's something like that coming through. We got the Star, okay? Yeah, you're the star. You're the person who, you know, is successful. There's a brighter future for you, and there may be some challenge going on in your working environment. Now, I actually don't like to give that message, but, you know, the Five of Cups, if you look up the meaning of the Five of Cups, and it is in your outcome energy, it means you have to let go of something, or, you know, there's shortages or challenges, and, you know, there's a lot of pressure on in the working environment right now. So it can indicate that something is changing or shifting or being taken away. So it could be like a bursary or an award, or something is removed, but something better is being offered to you in particular. Okay, so I'm getting that message very strongly. I'm going to, with a lot of love and respect, move away from the energy, but I feel like you're put in the spotlight for some sort of success. But also, some of you may be dealing with something personal at this moment in time, and you're throwing yourself into the working environment in order to, you know, not avoid emotion, okay, but as a process to kind of like get your mind off things and try and heal or move through grief. So I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love, especially since we have the Death card there. Some of you, not all of you, but some of you may be grieving somebody, and I'm sending you, as I said, so much love out there, and you may be just trying to adjust your working environment in some way, or just try and like almost be on autopilot with that Justice card there. So it could have a knock-on effect with how you're dealing with work right now. And yes, I feel like you're under a lot of pressure. If you're going through this personally, I do see that there is someone in a hierarchical position there with that Hierophant, because that tends to be about structures, okay? But we also have the Nine of Pentacles, which tells me that there is someone who is very comforting, someone who is very compassionate in your working environment that you could confide in, and they're like, you know what, do what you can, okay? I feel like they don't want you to be under pressure, so, but they need to be aware of the information before they can, offer you that compassion. So that's something that's coming through. And yes, of course, you may be entering into a very healing period at this time. Now, with a lot of love and respect, as I said, I'm moving away from this energy. For those of you who've come to this reading and you're currently out of work, because the Death card can literally mean that work has stopped for you right now, something big ended for you, and you may have loved that working environment. Of course, there's always kind of moments in the working environment that are not fun. Of course, there could be aspects of your industry that you don't like, but ultimately with that Lover's card, you may have felt, you kind of liked it. It created security for you. Seven of Swords with the Lover's card can indicate now you're looking at your choices, your options right now. Seven of Swords, you've definitely thought about going solo or, utilizing the knowledge that you have in order to be independent, as it were. And you could be healing from this sudden departure if you've been made redundant or you lost your job or had to walk away from something that was, not helping you flourish in your industry or was toxic, for example. A lot of you are healing, but I feel like you are on a path towards success. You're getting clarity at this moment in time about your options, and you will make a decision. And now I'm being given that this is for everybody, okay? But I'm being given Pythagoras rule. I'm seeing the sign of pi in the water. This is so random, okay? But pi, that's an equation, right? So it could be that you're equating things right now, working things out. So whether you're in a career right now or looking for a job, I feel like you could be looking at your options or working things out financially, perhaps. Pythagoras' rule is all about looking at things maybe from the right angle, because I'm just trying to work out why I'm being given this. It's all about like triangles, right? And the hypotenuse of stuff. I was never very good at math, okay? But if my memory serves me well, there was like some sort of equation regarding the angles of a triangle, okay? Ooh, those days give me the heebie-jeebies. I was never very good with, equations and things like that. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? But anyway, so I feel this could be that you're coming at something from a right angle. That's the main energy I'm getting with this, because there is a lot of clarity here for you. But it could be that you're equating something, but you're thinking on the right lines of inquiry at this moment in time. You will gain clarity on this. You will get the answer if you're problem solving something right now. But the star indicates that you're in the spotlight for some sort of success or recognition. So if you're currently out of work, you're looking for a job. I feel that there is a very competitive arena right now. The job market oversaturated, inflation, economically things are very volatile. You don't need me to tell you that. But the Seven of Wands indicates that you are above the competition. You are someone who has a really strong resume, okay? But the Five of Cups could indicate that there is a disappointment before you get the right role, okay? It could indicate there that perhaps you reach for something and either you have to turn it down because it's not what you're hoping for, because you're looking for equality. When you have the Justice card energy, it indicates you're looking for the right role that you can commit to, invest in, and sign contracts with. And I definitely see here that there is like a contract that you would love. So some of you, and I hate to give this message, I really do, but I gotta be honest with the energy that I see. Seven of Swords can indicate some underhanded kind of tactic energy there. For example, if you go for a role that you really, really want and you don't hear back, or you get rejected from this role, I want you to be aware there's nepotism. It's being sourced in-house, okay? That's what I'm seeing here with these cards. This can indicate the structure, and it can be that, they already have a person. They're going to return to a person that they know, or, they're offering it as a gift to somebody that they're familiar with, okay? And I want you to be aware that it's nothing to do with you or your resume. They love you, but I feel like the role has technically already been filled, but they had to legally put it out there so that it's fair. That's not fair, of course, but I feel there is a cause and effect, and there's a reason why, because there's an alternative role about to come on in for you, and that's your dream opportunity. If you thought that this one that perhaps you go for and you don't hear back on, or whatever happens there, you know, this disappointment is your springboard towards your dream job. And actually you're going to love this opportunity, and it's made, I'm being given tailor-made just for you. So just watch out for that. You know, I know it's difficult out there, and I'm sending you a huge hug. You know, there's a lot of pressure. I can see it's on there. Seven of Wands is pressurized energy, but that Five of Cups indicates that you may lament something, but something greater is being offered to you, and the universe is aligning you with that at this time, okay? And you will sign a contract. There's a contract right here. So there will be options. One of them doesn't go your way. The other one is the dream job opportunity. And again, with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy. For everyone else who's currently working on something, whether you're working in a company or whether you're working independently right now, you know, I feel there's a lot of change going on in your industry, but you are moving through these changes. And, you know, I really am quite excited because the Five of Cups and the Death card indicates that you're creating space for something new to come up and really flourish. So it could be that you're getting all of your tasks and responsibilities done, out of the way. There may even be a really tough project that you've been working on, or an idea that's been really challenging, especially when it comes to information, because a lot of you could be investigating something or gaining new knowledge on it. And it will change everything, but it was a really long, hard slog. And a lot of you are under pressure. You feel unappreciated, or you feel, you know, that you're going unnoticed right now. You're just working through these changes and trying to be flexible. But I feel something big is ending for you, and it could be a project or a way of working. So for some of you, it could be that, you know, whatever the challenge is, you're about to have a breakthrough over the next coming weeks and months. As you can see, that figure is at the top of the mountain, okay? And those wands are protecting the figure. Normally, the Seven of Wands indicates that you're in a very competitive arena there, but actually you're making waves, you're going the distance, you're unstoppable. And I feel that, you know, this pressure that you're under is going to lead to a breakthrough, and then you are making some major advancements there. So some of you, if you are an independent worker, for example, you run your own business, whether you're creative or in construction or in any industry, I feel that you are deciding to revamp something, whether this is an old idea, because I see a lot of you, there's this energy of what is old becomes new. It's almost like you revamp an idea, or you return to something, tweak it, and it's ready to release. This could be something that you're working on for a long time. It could be a change of style, or like striking out in a different direction, but I feel something is changing. Okay, and I feel it's going to be received really well. And also for some of you, you may launch something over the next coming weeks, but it may be a very slow kind of launch, or even like a trial launch, a soft launch, for example. And at first, there's this energy of you feeling like not quite satisfied with the way it goes initially, but actually then it really takes off, and then you see it skyrocket towards you know, really being seen. You know, the star energy is to either go viral or be famous or be well known. Your kind of like reputation is increasing. You're stepping into some sort of spotlight, but it could also be like the big reveal. Okay, so if you're launching something, I feel like you're getting a lot of attention. If you're working in a company, it could be that, as I said, you have some sort of knowledge that really sets you apart from other people, and you're being noticed for you going above and beyond in some way. Now, the Lover's card indicates you're looking at your options right now. Could be that you're working things out. I mean, if you've come to this reading and you're like, just tell me about the finances, okay, that perhaps you're just in your industry and you're like doing what you do every day, you're on autopilot there, you're invested, you're passionate, and, you know, of course, with the Seven of Swords, there are some things that perhaps you don't love doing, and you may even try to outsource those things, but the Nine of Pentacles indicates that you're working towards financial freedom, financial independence there. It's initially in the resistance position, which tells me that you're not quite there yet, but you are definitely utilizing your skills and your knowledge to work towards this, and you will be financially independent in the future. So whether that is through either real estate, you know, second streams of income, passive income for some of you, because when you have the Justice energy, it can be that you're structuring something that can run like automatically. Some of you may even utilize the internet at this time in order to launch something that will kind of tick over in the background. Seven of Swords, you know, this card gets a bit of a bad rap. It actually means to be very diplomatic in a situation, especially since you have the Lovers card. It's all about relations, you know, connections between people in your working environment, people that you see every day, or, you know, the connections, clients, customers, or bosses, or whoever it is you deal with to run your business. It can indicate that, you know, people are under pressure right now, and there is a snappiness. People are worried about the economy. They're worried about things, and it means people may act out of character. And I feel some of you may actually encounter someone who acts out of character. And I see there's an apology here. They can see that you're the best at what you do, but for some of you, this testing kind of energy is actually a test, because they want to either vouch for you for a new role or opportunity, or word of mouth of your company. It's like they want to test to see if you're up to it to like deal with like a high profile client, for example. So if you've got someone who comes in and utilizes your services or gifts or whatever it is that you do, it could be that, you know, they talk about you to their friend who's really well known, and they want an introduction. You know, so it could be that they're kind of testing to see if you'd be the sort of like crazy fan of this person, or if you would be someone who is very professional about what you do. And I feel like you're very professional because you've got that Seven of Swords. The history of the Seven of Swords is all about diplomacy. You know, the figure is removing the weaponry from the army because they do not want to fight. They want to find an alternative way, or they don't want to intimidate. You know, they want to remove the prospect of conflict. Okay, so it could be that you have a person that you deal with already who's trying to remove some sort of conflict, or trying to test to see if there could be a conflicting kind of reason why you shouldn't take this new opportunity or this new client or contract, for example. So please apply it to your situation. But, you know, anything that's in the resistance position, you know, there is, you know, an upright position, because the resistance position is in the reverse, and the upright, you know, of course, it will happen in the next 6 weeks. So a lot of you, you're very savvy with your finances. I feel like you will have a little bit more left over than you thought you would, because you're being stricter with your finances. The Hierophant is to be quite structured or strict with something there. So I do see that you're building your wealth. Okay, and some of you, if financially you're going through something at this time and you're worried about the next steps, I feel you could actually reach out to service providers if you're going into debt, for example, because some of you with that Nine of Pentacles could be looking at, you know, trying to guard from debt, or you know, perhaps you're learning about debt and how to utilize it in the best way possible, because a lot of well-known wealthy people, they utilize debt, they make it work for them, for example. So you could be learning about structures like that. But if you are worried about your bills, I do see a lot of you could reach out to the service provider and say, hey, look, circumstances have changed, if you are someone who has had changes in your circumstances. And I feel like you meet a very compassionate person on the end of the line, and I feel like they are someone who can help you. They can structure a repayment system that gives you breathing room to get yourself back up and running. So if you're dealing with that, a lot of love to you. I can see changes here, and I can see that, you know, you guard against worst case scenario is what I'm seeing there with these cards. And I feel like with the star energy, you're aligned with a brighter future, and something turns around there for you, okay? But coming back to the finances, a lot of you are thinking about doing something independent, or something that complements whatever it is that you do, in order to be financially free and, you know, do repayment on debts like mortgages, repayment plans, cell phones, cars, whatever it is that some of you may have debt on. I feel a lot of you are structuring your finances to be independent financially, and you're going to break that. You're going to actually break through on the other side and find yourself financially independent. And a lot of you are already financially independent, and I feel like you are kind of having a glow up financially. So there could be more money coming on in, but I do see you returning to a gift or a talent that you have that will benefit you financially in the future. So this could be a rebate, for example. For some of you, a tax rebate. For some of you, it could be a small increase in finances regarding, you know, a current role that you're in. if you run your own business, it could be that you are releasing equity from your company, maybe giving yourself a dividend or something like that. But the Lover's card indicates that you're attracting what you desire at this time. You're looking at whether you love what you do. And some of you, because the Lover's card is there, it can be that you're doing all the tasks and responsibilities that you love doing. But the Seven of Swords can be that you're outsourcing some of the tasks that perhaps you don't love doing. Like, accounting, for example, or, it could be some sort of PA or diary management service online. Seven of Swords, because it is a sword, is connected to the ether. So I would also say, with the Lover's card and the Seven of Swords, for some of you, financially, if you have dealt with a scammer in the past, okay, and this is just coming through right now, I feel a lot of you, there is this energy that it could go to court. Okay, so this is aside from career, but I mean, for some of you, it could be connected, because Seven of Swords can be a betrayal, or it can be someone not acting in their highest regard. But because it's in the protagonist energy, I don't imagine it's you doing that. I feel it's something that you could have been dealing with. But if you have been scammed in the past, for example, and you're currently going through some sort of legal case there, I feel at first there is this energy with that Five of Cups as like feeling like you lost, okay, or like lamenting the situation, really disappointed or feeling let down in the situation. But the Seven of Wands says you're triumphant. So it could be that either it goes to a second hearing or an appeal there, but the star is telling me that you win. Okay, so it could be that there's like a fair outcome to some degree, but perhaps you get like some sort of like win, but there's something there that you lament. Like it didn't go 100% your way, but it maybe went like 95% your way. Okay, so there's something going on there regarding that. But this could be also if you work in a company for a structured like environment. It could be that with that Seven of Swords, some of you are trying to be a little bit more independent. You may feel micromanaged by a person and you're trying to step away at this time. You will find that actually this person, they will be a little bit of a bugbear for a while, but eventually this person is going to leave. Okay, it may not be in the next 6 or 7 weeks there, but I feel eventually this person will leave and the environment is a nicer environment there. And if you're putting your resume out there to find new opportunities, some of you with that Seven of Swords may be quietly quitting. It could be that you're like under the radar right now and protecting your position, but at the same time, you are interviewing for alternative opportunities. And again, I see, some may not go your way, but there is this dream opportunity coming through that is yours, okay? Now, also, I would also be just a little bit mindful of the working environment with a Seven of Swords there. This can indicate protecting your ideas from theft. Copywriting, trademarking, things like that at this time, because I feel people love what you're about and they may try to copy a style or they may try to copy something. And of course, this is flattery at its highest level, but at the same time, if they are pinching your ideas and trying to make it out like it's theirs or taking credit in some way, I feel like you could go legal on them or threaten something where, it says, look, if you don't sort this out, I will take steps forward. And it could be something you're worried about, but the Seven of Wands indicates you conquer this situation. It could be that they just go, oh, I'm really sorry, and kind of like go away, or it could be that the damage is done and you sue this person, and it could be that you're going to court regarding this. And I feel with the star energy that you basically have a lot of power in the situation and you align yourself with a win there. Now, removing myself from all of that energy because it feels like a lot of drama there. Also, just one thing's coming through. Be mindful of just leaving things out on your desk. There could be an opportunist that is seeing like a wallet or a cell phone there, okay, because it can indicate that, looking at the Six of Cups, it could be something that's returned. So perhaps there is like an opportunist in the working environment that's like, oh, there's a cell phone, it's just lying there, I'll take that, thanks very much. And then suddenly like a big drama is like created about it, like an email goes out, HR get involved, everybody's searching for this. Suddenly it could just show up somewhere because the person like backs out and gets nervous. But then of course that means there is someone who is amongst you who perhaps took that opportunity to, on the spur of the moment, not act in their highest regard. So just watch out for that. Just because the Seven of Swords is there, okay? But more than anything, I think this is more, you know, a theft of intellectual property, okay? That's coming out there. Now, we do have the Hierophant. It's in the resistance position, which tells me that you're someone who is unique, you're maverick, you have different ideas than other people, and something here needs to be explored at this time. I feel like a lot of you could feel like you don't have the knowledge right now to go independently because you have that Nine of Pentacles. So it could be something that you're acquiring at this time or getting ready to kind of launch there. We have this energy of the inner teacher. So it could be that you're finding a mentor or a course online for some of you. But also I feel like you do have a lot of information and knowledge about your sector. You're someone who's quite established at what you do. And because you love certain aspects of what you do, I feel like you could write a book, a manual, or a course on how to do something. And this could lead you to be more independent. You could also be thinking about becoming a consultant in your spare time, or I mean, a lot of you don't have spare time because I see like you're under a lot of pressure right now, but it could be something that you're trying to automate. So it could be a course that you're like documenting at this time in order to put it out there to be sold or downloaded in some way. So this could see you being financially free. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is to be an independent worker. So you could be actually looking at ways like second streams of income in order to get that up and running. And it could be something you're about to launch during this period. Maybe you're trying to get some sort of structure, legal structure up and running regarding being your own boss, or, you know, protecting your documents and your paperwork and all of those things. And it can be that it's a long process and you feel frustrated. You want to move forward, but you will actually, you know, move forward this month. And I feel that suddenly everything is completed. And yeah, there's this energy of something comes to a natural conclusion. Very interesting as I said that, because the Death card, you know, right at the beginning, I said the energy, something comes to a natural conclusion there. And the Death card energy is something that ends, begins. So it feels like a lot of you are very goal-oriented, finishing what you've started, getting on to new tasks and responsibilities. And I feel like you're super organized and structured over the next coming weeks and months. But also I feel there's an idea that you return to, or something you already have in the works that you return to, that will be like, you know, your breakthrough moment. It's like a gift that was given to you. It could be a talent there. But also I feel there is some sort of news, financial news, independent financial news coming towards you that has the potential to be missed. So look out for your hard copy mail and your spam folder, okay, because it's in the resistance position. I mean, I feel it gets resent, actually. So you may see 2 letters or 2 emails regarding this, because I feel they haven't heard from you and it's because you didn't receive it. Or it could be that it comes into your home, hard copy mail, and someone that you live with kind of goes, oh, I must tell my beautiful Aquarian that that came in for them, and then it completely slips their mind. It's an accident is what I see. It's not on purpose. And it could be that you discover it later, but you only discover it later because like a reminder comes in. Okay, so something regarding that. I don't see any like surprise bills, so I want you to be aware of that. But the Six of Cups, something that you've been manifesting, because as you can see here, we got the Lover's card, which is like a connection to your heart space of something that you would love, but you feel like you haven't received it yet. But it will be received, because there's an energy there of you attracting what it is, because you're tapping into a vibration and you're manifesting, but also working towards something. So I do see here, to some degree, it's really weird, because that Five of Cups indicates that there's something either disappointing with it. So it could be that you've been applying for a permit or a visa or passport. You may be looking at documents right now, expiry dates on service providers. And it could be that you're renewing contracts, or you're, you know, looking around and sort of having a connection to like a new contract, because this can be an agreement. So it's like you may agree certain terms and conditions with something and you're like, yes, this is happening. And it could be that either you didn't see a certain part of a contract that need to be filled in and it gets returned to you and you have to go, oh, all that time wasted. I waited all that time and they didn't tell me that I had to fill in that part. So you have to return to it and refill it in. Or it could be that, you know, they process it, but they don't process it correctly, as it were. It feels with that Five of Cups, you're like, oh my gosh, come on, look, it's so obvious. It feels like someone doesn't do a correct job, or there's inefficiency in some way, and you have to kind of like return to something, because Six of Cups is to return to something or have to redo it. I hate to give that message, but you're like, you know what? If you want something done, you may as well do it yourself. So there's this energy of you going, oh, I'm going to have to return to this, do it again. But, you know, then finally it gets cleared, or it, you know, is done correctly. Seven of Wands, you don't give up on it. You feel like you have to kind of like redo it. So there's some sort of like return to something, or, you know, some sort of discrepancy you have to return to, but you problem solve and correct it. You know, this is to find a solution, but it could be cause and effect, which means there's a delay, or it means that, you know, you have to fill something out all over again, or restart a process on something over the next coming weeks, and you're really frustrated. I would say a lot of you as well, because the Seven of Swords is there, if you're in the middle of creating something, whether it's setting up a website, or whether it is, you know, a document that's important, save it down. Seven of Swords can indicate some sort of glitch with a computer software or program or the internet there, and, you know, it could mean that you lose something or have to restart it. So just watch out for that there as well. Now, of course, this is cause and effect, so this means for some of you, you're making some changes and there's going to be an outcome, you know, based on the first steps you're taking on something. So if you're launching something, there's going to be some sort of, you know, outcome there. Five of Cups, you know, Five of Cups can indicate that it was challenging. It was a struggle, but, you know, you moved through it with that Seven of Wands, and you didn't give up, and now you've conquered it, and now there is success. Okay, because I feel a lot of you are under pressure right now, and something is a challenge, but you conquer it. You know, Seven of Wands is basically clarifying that Five of Cups. It will be worth it, all this, you know, hard work and investment into something that you're doing. And, you know, this is a proposal or a contract there. So some of you will be signing new documents or adhering to paperwork, getting everything structured or organized. But this could also indicate some adjustments need to be made on something. So whether you're soft launching something, if you're an independent worker, whether it's a new style, new product, some of you could be adjusting some prices at this time, because maybe there's a lull in your industry and you're like, okay, no one's really interested in this product right now, or this service right now, maybe I should give like a discount. And, you know, the Five of Cups could indicate you're disappointed to have to do that. But it could be that, you know, if you think about the season that you're in, a lot of people could be on vacations during this time. Perhaps it's coinciding with some sort of like school holidays as well, vacations, people away, or paying more attention to being with their children at this time, if there's like some sort of vacational period, or, you know, people are just taking vacations in and around this time. So you could feel like, oh, there's a reason why there's a lull, and it could be that actually you offer some sort of incentive, or perhaps, you know, reserve that product for a later time to actually sell. So, you know, I feel like you're working around something, but you could like give like a limited offer for some of you with that Five of Cups to kind of like give a discount, because that can be like, you don't really want to do that, but you may not like leave yourself out of pocket with it. But with that Seven of Wands there, it indicates that you stand out for giving this discount, and it brings more attention, and then you can readjust your prices, like give like a one-off kind of discount. Or if you're launching something, it could be that you're launching with some sort of incentive there, okay? And you're investing in your business. It's almost like speculate to accumulate what you invest. You know, at first it feels like you're giving out so much of yourself, but then, you know, the return will be greater than what you had to invest in the first place. That's what I'm getting coming through there. I mean, a lot of you, there's this energy here of changing in order to do something that you love. And, you know, basically with that Five of Cups there, it indicates you have to let go of something. For some of you, it could also be an expectation or a worry about something. It could be that you're automating something, passive streams of income. You may be a little bit nervous or worried about how it's going to go. You cannot, you know, preempt something, but I want you to be aware that with that Seven of Wands, it means that you are someone who's above competition. It feels like fortune is in your favor. You're conquering something. You're going the distance. You're unstoppable in your energy. And yes, it may be a lot of pressure. I feel getting good quality rest is important, but it feels like, you know, there's a win here with that Seven of Wands as like your outcome. I mean, I kept the star energy because I feel this is the overarching energy that has clarified all of these cards, really, because that Five of Cups is your only real kind of negative card there, I would say. The Five of Cups can be that, you know, some of you, if you have two things that you're doing right now, because Six of Cups can be a duality card. Perhaps you're pooling your resources, you know, you've got two things going on. It could be that one of them isn't doing as well as you had hoped, but the other one's thriving. And it can be that now that the one is thriving, you're looking at the one to return to it, to tweak it a little bit, make some changes in order to help it grow exponentially as well. But ultimately, I feel like you're expanding your reach at this time, and that there are some really great things coming your way. And I would also say with that Seven of Swords, because it is in the protagonist energy, if you're doing anything that's a little bit sneaky, I can't imagine you are, but you know, if you're doing anything that's not in your highest regard, or if someone offers you an opportunity that you feel is too good to be true, and perhaps, you know, it's not leading with your highest integrity, I would say that with that star energy that is a spotlight and the Five of Cups, it could indicate that you get caught, or, you know, it creates an awkward situation. I mean, Seven of Wands, it could cause pressure between you and a person. So, or a company, for example. So just watch out for that. A lot of you could be getting legal structures in place, or even permission to utilize something that is going to be helpful for your industry or your business. A lot of you are actually working towards being independent, being your own boss, and gaining new knowledge in order to launch something new. And it can be a little bit of a headache there. I would also say just be a little bit mindful about water intake. Ooh. Oh, okay. So we have options. Yeah, so you're starting with this options, looking at your options, and that's probably why I got the Pythagoras rule energy coming out there, because that can indicate that you're looking at things from a different angle or right angle. For example, I just got to go get that card. Oh, it's a fox. It says clever ploy. Okay, so some of you, as I mentioned, you could be dealing with a person who is testing you, okay, and it can indicate that you avoid something, but it's because you are professional, diplomatic there, and you pass a test. Okay, so I'm just going to go get that card. One moment, please. Okay, sorry about that, my beautiful Aquarians. As I said, you know, you could be making some changes there with this card as well, because you are upping your game. So these changes can indicate that there's a gear shift here. It says, step up your game, outwit them, negotiate wise tactics, and behind the scenes. So I mentioned that earlier. I was getting this energy of like behind the scenes, there is some sort of opportunity that you cannot see just yet. And it could be that you're having to deal with a person who has the opportunity to give you this role or this opportunity. So for example, if you're an independent worker and you're going to a networking event, because, you know, a lot of you, it can be the nature of relationships in business are changing. Some of you could go to some sort of co-working environment or networking opportunity, and it could be that someone is under a lot of pressure and maybe is a little bit snappy, or you're like, excuse me, you know, you could call this person out, but diplomatically or professionally. You could outwit them or make a joke about something, but it has like a very serious root there. This person's really well connected, or they have the opportunity to offer you something. Now, you're the sort of person, my beautiful Aquarians, you're like, I don't care if they have the opportunity to give me, if they're rude to me, I'm like calling them out on it. And that's absolutely what they really admire and respect about you. But I feel like you're not rude with it. I feel like you're the sort of person who's like, hey, you can't talk to me like that. So I feel you could encounter something like that. But, you know, this person is really well connected, and the way that you deal with something, even if you work for a company or you're your own boss, whatever it is, you know, I get this energy, the way you deal with something impresses somebody. And they want to either open new doors for you, or they're so impressed they want you to get involved in something or offer you some sort of co-working alliance. I mean, you could be even headhunted during this time. Okay, so that's coming out there as well. Now we've got options. The scales, I mean, you have the justice energy. I mean, for some of you also, I want you to be aware, you may actually be offered jury service during this time. Okay, now you may get an envelope. This is maybe the official document that you don't see at first. And, you know, I would say be really honest and say, I didn't see it. if you didn't see it, okay? Because they may send you a very strict kind of letter, second letter there. But with the Five of Cups, there is this energy that they, if you're trying to get out of it, for example, and you have something on, especially if it's connected to, I don't know, if it's like a family event or something, or like if it's connected, for example, if something happens and it's your spouse or your partner or something like birthday, and you're like, I'm really sorry, I can't do jury service because it falls on like a very special date with me and my family or something like that. I feel like they're going to say, tough luck, you have to attend. But if you've got some sort of like travel, or if you've got some, I feel it's travel. If you've got some sort of travel going on there, I feel like they'll honor that, but that's only if you really do have travel, okay? There's just something about that coming up there, because that Five of Cups is telling me about disappointment, okay? So it could be that you're like, I can't do jury service because this is happening, and they're like, so what? But what I do see here with that Seven of Wands is you could stand your ground on this and say, look, this is really important to me. Please, can we reschedule the date? And I feel that you are going to deal with a very compassionate person who initially says no, but I feel like they're like, you know what, look, let's see what I can do. If I can find an alternative person to fill that slot, then I'll make some adjustments. And I feel actually you win. Okay, but you may have to find a way of articulating why it is you can't make that, if you don't want to make it, or you can't make it, for example, okay? But it says here, weighing pros and cons, job change, move, offers, justice, law, mediator, balance. Some of you, there could be legal structures, legal documentation you're dealing with. Some of you may be looking at 401ks, because we got that death card energy. It could be that you're looking at like retirement dates. If you are retired, it could be that you're looking at how to best conserve your finances, but still enjoy your time and invest in yourself. I see you actually learning new things. And some of you could even be writing something that kind of could get published in the future. And I feel there is this energy of being known for like some sort of writing or like publishing something there. But we have potential. Okay, and it's about you spreading your wings and flying, trying out your wings. As I said, there's this energy of trialing something as well. And it says budding talent, restlessness, air travel, upward progress. So that's really exciting that there is progress here. A lot of you are maintaining and sustaining. Doesn't mean nothing is happening during the next 6 weeks, but I feel there is something you keep revisiting time after time that you're working on long term that is going to be very beneficial for you in the future. We've got in good time, okay? And it says here, enjoying the moment, no rush, time for all things, be here now, and many chances. So if you feel like you are missing out on an opportunity with that Five of Cups, it comes back around in a different form. And what is meant for you will never, ever pass you by. I want you to be aware of that. The universe will remove something that is not for you. You may feel at the time it's the best thing. Many, many years ago, I wanted to pool my resources with my family to purchase a property, okay? And we wanted to go and get a mortgage, all of those things. And we found the ideal place. And, it was just financially out of reach, but we were going to try and make it work as best as we could. And unfortunately, we missed out on that because we couldn't afford the next bit because someone outbid us, basically. And, I was so disappointed about this. I was like, oh my gosh, this was it. I could see our family being here and thriving and all of those things. And actually, and unfortunately, the area and the neighborhood has suffered some major flooding in that area. And that's really awful. It's horrific. But unfortunately, for the people who purchased it, they're dealing with that. But the universe did protect me and my family from that eventuality. Now, of course, none of us, hadn't tapped in at that point. None of us could have foreseen that kind of transformation of the neighborhood because it was never like that. It doesn't have a history of that. But it is something that has occurred in the last couple of years. And, sometimes because I love that property so much, I do kind of like look back at the area and think, you know what, how's that area doing now and all of those things. And then I found that had happened. I missed out on an opportunity, but I didn't miss out on an opportunity. That's not in my contract, my soul contract to have to deal with in this lifetime. So I avoided that. So I'm trying to highlight to you that sometimes something is removed from you because the universe wants you to avoid it because there could be something later on down the line, like the company that you get hired by could close shortly. And the universe says, I don't want you to enter into that because you're going to then be back in the same position. Hold out for this other opportunity that is meant for you, and it is bringing you security financially, and there's longevity there. So just be a little bit mindful of that, okay? You don't need to rush into anything, especially if you're trying to make a decision. If anyone tries to make you rush into anything, it normally means they benefit more from it than you do. Be mindful if you are signing contracts, okay? Get the fine print or look at it, or if you are looking at something that has all that technical jargon, like sometimes I'm wondering why they've got such technical jargon, like I, therefore, hereby, you're like, just get to the point, right? So it could be that you have to get someone with professional knowledge to decode some aspects of a contract if it doesn't make sense. Because you have a Seven of Swords there could be like a hidden clause that you will have to return to later on, but you signed on the dotted line. It could be something you missed, and it could be something that disappoints you later on. So make sure if you're signing anything new or there's a merge going on in your industry, because I do see that there is something that you could challenge in the future, but you could be disappointed on one thing. Okay, but it says here, guardian, fierce approach to finances, daring moves, being the hero. As I said, you solve a problem there. Protecting your savings and your treasures. So a lot of you could be looking at legal structures, generational wealth structures in order to protect your finances at this time as well. And I feel that, there is this energy of you going the distance on something and really excited with the outcome, but you took the necessary steps to move forward on it. So we have a clear heart, clear intentions, pure heart there. This is about you moving forward with doing something that you love. But also this can be, the love for your industry, that some of you may actually like petition for something, or stand up for your rights on something over the next coming weeks because you care. When you get this trinket, it means you care so much and you have pure intentions. And, I always say that if you have pure intentions, you don't lose anything. People lose you, okay? So if there is a restructure going on in your industry, I feel like you protect your position because you are someone who cares about what you do, you go above and beyond, and I feel this love for what you do, this passion, it shows in every single thing that you turn your hand to. Also, there's divine intervention here with this angel. It says here, angel watching over you. So again, if you miss out on something, it's because something better is about to replace it. The death card literally means transformation or transition period, where something is being removed to clear space for something better, okay? So I feel like you're being guided towards some sort of new opportunity or being guided towards changing your life in some way that will benefit you and your family for generations to come, okay? So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates, my beautiful Aquarians. Thank you so much, and love and light.